Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. Today we're going to meet Tom, and Tom has an interesting story. So Tom, you're in this yellow van, and how long have you been living on wheels?
It's been 18 years now.
18 years?
18 years.
That's a long time, and you're a young guy, so you must have started fairly young.
Yep, started right out of high school.
And how did that come about?
When I was a child, my grandfather had an RV, and during the summer we would go all over the place. So, like I said, somewhere between the time I was 10 and 17, I decided that I could live in an RV, and that's just what I've been doing ever since.
And so, have you lived in just a couple vehicles or a bunch of vehicles?
I've had 143 to date. About a quarter of those have been RVs and vans and mobile living vehicles, I guess you could say, to some degree. Yeah.
143.
143, all recorded and documented. I got pictures of most of them.
That's like 6, 7, 8 a year.
Well, it depends on the years. See, I put miles down. Depending on what I'm driving and how bad the gas mileage is, I can probably do 1,000 miles a week. So it just depends on where I'm at and where I'm going and what I'm doing, you know. And sometimes they hold up really well, and sometimes they don't.
Right?
Yeah.
And, you know, there's a big question. Do you spend a lot of money for your very best vehicle, or do you spend just a little tiny bit of money for a vehicle that you only run for a little while?
Well, believe it or not, I haven't spent much over $800 for most of my vehicles, and I find that the ones that I spent the least on seem to have lasted the longest. And then the stealth thing, you know, like nobody's going to question. I look like I'm about to pave a road or something, so you know nobody's about to question me in something that looks like a state vehicle, you know.
Right, and it does. It
Yeah,
looks like
yeah.
it probably was.
Right,
Retired
right.
state vehicle.
Right.
And so, are you a mechanic? And
Yeah.
when they need things, you just fix them.
Yeah, I just fix them. If it breaks down, I'm prepared. I can make anything with anything, just about.
And when it gets too bad, you just walk away. You sell it to
Well, if it gets bad enough, I'll try to fix it, and then maybe somebody else can use it. I don't believe in getting rid of things before it's time. You know, if somebody can use it for something, I'd rather do that than to scrap it. You know,
right.
Because there's always going to be somebody who needs something. You know.
That's a big question all of us face is our vehicles come along and then we have to put money in them. And anymore, if you're not a mechanic, you have to pay someone.
Right.
Any average repair is
right.
$300, $400, $500.
Yep, that's right.
And odd.
That's right. I mean, at the same time, I get a lot of life out of them. It's not too bad, you know.
Right.
Even this one here, it's only got 68,000 miles, so I probably got a good little ways before I got to worry about anything, you know.
Right.
Hopefully.
And you're probably getting much older vehicles for that price that are easier to repair.
Oh yeah, and the parts are cheap. You know, you don't.
Right.
If you break down with an older, if fuel pump goes on this, it's 2 bolts and 15 minutes of my time.
I think a lot of it is most of us are looking for a sense of security. And the idea of a breakdown terrifies us. But it doesn't seem to bother you at all.
No, not. Well, see, it really is not too many things that bother me. So I can pretty much, nothing bothers me. I just, whatever happens, it was obviously meant to happen. So I'll just make it work when it comes time, you know.
That is a very Zen attitude. I mean, that is how you would describe it, a very Zen attitude. So, and that's an attitude all of us, folks. Every one of us should strive to develop that attitude. But most of us really struggle. How do you think you got that kind of thinking?
Well, a few different ways. First thing, so what happened was I had cancer twice. So after you go through so many things, you just start to say, okay, well, when the next worst thing happens, screw it. I'll just work on it when it happens. If something happens, why worry about the next thing that's going to happen? If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And if I can't control the outcome of it, then I can't control the outcome of it. But I'm gonna try to make it work if I can, you know. And then after a while, you just throw caution to the wind and just start doing crazy things like buying this. And but like I said, if something happens, it just happens, you know. It's just life. If you don't worry about what's coming and just go do what you're trying to do, nothing bad will come to you until it's time for it to come. And even when it comes, it won't be as bad as you think it is.
Right.
You know.
So actually, you're developing by embracing the punches.
Right.
You develop an attitude of life is good, and suddenly life's pretty good.
Right. I mean, theoretically, there is no such thing as a bad day because you wake up every day. And if you wake up every day, that's just the beginning.
And for you, as horrible as I'm sure those cancer scares were, you can probably look back with some gratitude.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
They have really made your whole life richer and fuller.
Changed me completely, you know.
You probably go through a lot of economic insecurity then.
Yeah, you would think. There's moments, you know, but I do work and everything, so it's not too bad, you know. I make it.
Okay.
You know?
So you have to work along the way. In America, you have to have money. And so how are you supporting yourself?
I do Postmates and I work on cars when I have to. It's not something I like to do, but I know that if I have to do it, I got the skills to do what I need to do. Postmates, you can do that in any state, any city that has it. And the pay is okay. It's not great. You're not going to become rich off of it. The pay in DC is a lot better than anywhere, but for the most part, the rest of the country is so-so. And it keeps me on the road. Postmates is food delivery.
Oh.
So basically, if you ordered some food, say you ordered it from Jimmy John's or something, and you would go, or you would order it, and it would come through on an app on your phone to say there's an order, and then you say click yes or no on the order, and most of the time I'm going to take the order, and I'd go to Jimmy John's, pick it up, and drop it off to your front door.
And so you get paid per mile or per delivery? You
get paid per mile and also for your wait time, and also by the delivery. And you get paid after you've dropped the food off and everything.
Right, and you're getting tips.
Right,
which is
right.
A big chunk of it.
Yeah, that helps big time.
But you got to be in a fairly big town at the same time.
Well, yes and no. In Albuquerque, I did okay. Albuquerque's Postmates isn't that big at all, but I did okay. As opposed to Phoenix, where I don't do as good, and Phoenix is a lot larger area. Las Vegas, on the other hand, I do great.
And you're also then requiring to be in a big city like Vegas or Phoenix or even Albuquerque.
Right.
And so you do a lot of stealth parking.
Big time. Yeah, now certain places don't allow it, so you have to really be creative.
Right.
You know.
Right.
We had 7 knocks when we were in Vegas. We were in Vegas about a week ago and got knocked on 7 times.
Wow.
In one night.
In one night? Oh, you didn't get to sleep that night?
No, it was the next day. And so we discovered a place not far from the Strip where nobody seems to pay any attention to. And we just park amongst the other RVs and things and kind of blend in, you know. And that kind of worked out. But there's places like that all over the place, you know, where they don't allow it. And it can be quite complicating, especially if you got an RV trying to do it. Now this thing is it looks like a state vehicle. So, and with no knocks, when they knocked on the car, and we wasn't in this, we was in the car, and they completely ignored the van. So, I mean, you know, that's an advantage. Definitely go with something that doesn't look like anything.
So, so you spend a lot of, when you work, you need to be in town. And do you boondock then?
Yeah, I boondocked in. I try to find industrial areas and places like that. Sometimes you get lucky and find neighborhoods, but when you're in a neighborhood, I you really got to watch what neighborhood you're in.
Yes.
It's not always easy in the neighborhood between the knocks and what could possibly happen. Once again, I don't worry about what could happen, but what could happen, so you just kind of really got to watch your surroundings. Anywhere there's a river at, a little trail where I can pull off at, that's fine too. A lot of the time I get lucky in the city and I'll find places like that, and they won't bother me too much.
So one thing that people are going to be wondering is how are you preparing for your old age, for retirement? You're probably not building up a whole lot of Social Security.
Well, I don't know. I figure, I know I can't do this forever, but I'm sure gonna try.
Right.
I'm gonna keep on going until I can't go no more. Now, I own land, so we're good there. So if I had to, I could be on my land in Virginia. I got a little bit of land in Virginia, a little bit of land in Tennessee. But I don't see staying there. People ask me all the time, why don't you just stay on your property, And I'm like, I could stay on my property, but I kind of like it out here. I like being able to get up and do what I want to do when I want to do it. It don't cost me nothing to live in a van. I don't have no bills, a phone bill, gas. It don't cost me nothing. Yeah, food.
You're going to be the same no matter.
Right, pretty much. And I mean, that's minus rent. I don't, what am I, where I come from, rent in a bad area with roaches is probably about $1,500 a month or more. I'm not spending 15.
No.
No, I can enjoy that. I'd rather have the experience than to be struggling, or be stuck somewhere I don't particularly want to be,
Right. Don't like where you are, you turn the key, you drive away.
That's right. That's right. That's right. When I get tired of my scenery, I just start it up and leave.
Or if it gets too hot here, you go somewhere where it's cooler.
Right. That's right. That's right. If it's too cold, I go somewhere where it's warmer. Like I told you earlier, I didn't know that there was other people doing this until I run across your channel. People told me I was nuts. Why do you want to live in a van or a car or RV? What is wrong with you? And I'm like, what's wrong with that?
Exactly.
So what?
My question is, what's wrong with you that
Yeah.
you don't want to?
Well, let's see. I'm not spending any money in rent, and I'm not. I don't have the worries that you have. I don't stress. So what is wrong? Yeah, I'm not. I don't. Nothing's wrong with me.
And so, do you have a YouTube channel?
Yes, I do.
And the name is?
Well, I figure I'm going to probably change the name soon, and I haven't decided on a name yet.
So we'll just put the name here at the bottom, folks, and you can go and look at it. So you were at the RTR this last year.
I was determined when I saw that last year. I said, man, I wish I could get out there. Last year I was having car trouble. But I said, I'm going to the RTR. Those are my exact words. Last year at this time, I said, I'm going to the RTR. I don't care what I got to go through. I'm getting there somehow or another. And, I'm glad I did. It's probably the best move I think I've made in a long time.
And something good came from the RTR.
Yes, something good did come from the RTR. I met someone at the RTR, and someone that enjoys me and I enjoy her, and we enjoy each other and we enjoy the same thing, and we have a good time together.
So a certain female someone.
Yes, a certain female
And
someone.
you now have kind of a companion.
Definitely, it definitely helps because I've been traveling alone for a long time. It's nothing like having somebody to do this crazy stuff with.
Absolutely. Everything in life is better when it's shared with someone.
Oh yeah, no question about it.
Yeah.
No question.
I mean,
about
it can be good alone.
Yeah, it could be.
And should be.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just better with someone else.
Yeah. But it's very hard to meet anybody in this lifestyle.
It is.
And I just got fortunate,
Yeah.
It's not, you tell somebody, oh, I'm living in a van, and they think that you're homeless. And I said, no, I'm not homeless. I enjoy living in my van,
Okay, and so that was not very long ago. And how did you end up in this van?
So about 3 weeks ago, we were in Parker, and I'd made the decision that we needed somewhere to be. And because we tried to stay in the truck cab in the back of my truck, but I didn't build it out for 2 people. That would have been difficult. So I said, well, let me sell my truck. The tags were expired or getting ready to expire, and the insurance was coming up. So I said, well, let me see what I can do about doing something. And initially I said I was going to get Arizona everything anyway, just stay out here, you know. So I saw this on Craigslist for $600, and I said, yeah, that might work, you know. We've seen a couple of other vans first, but they were all right if you were staying local, but I needed something I could get on the highway with. And then it's already built out. It's got the bed in the back.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
It's a big plus.
Right. So that's how I ended up in the van, you know.
And you got to sell the Ford
I
Ranger.
sold the Ranger. I made a good little profit off of that.
You just know how to live really cheaply.
Yeah, exactly.
So you don't need much money.
Exactly. It don't cost me nothing to live. Not
Right.
a thing. Not a penny. I can make it just fine with nothing. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. All that stuff is just stuff.
Right.
You know, and stuff, what you gonna do with it when you die?
Right. It's not going with you.
Yeah, you can't take it with you. And you spending all this money on this stuff that you can't do nothing with. So it's nice to have stuff and everything, but I don't need stuff. I got what I need.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Kind of the way I look at it is he who dies with the most memories wins.
Yeah, exactly.
And man, you're way ahead of it. 17 years, 143 vehicles. I think you're at the head of the pack.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, I could be.
I mean, think about all the things you've done and experienced.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Every once in a while, I really sit there and think about it, you know. I don't know how I've done it. You know, for so long, I've done so many things until I'm starting to forget some of the things I've done, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I've seen things and been places that nobody's ever been, I don't believe, you know, because you can't discover this stuff if you're sitting at home on the couch not doing anything, you know what I mean?
Or working 9 to 5
Yeah,
every day.
your life doesn't allow you to be able to leave and discover this stuff if you live by the book.
That's a good life as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it's a great life.
Yeah.
It's a great life.
Yeah. Well, Tom, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I believe it's really been inspiring for a lot of people.
Oh.
Folks, I know you've got something out of this. I hope you found some inspiration to live for today and roll with the punches and just live cheap and live your own life. That's really a great story. Thanks.
That's no problem.
Folks, I hope you got something out of this. If you did, like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and we'll talk to you later.